So, you know that moment where I guess this doesn't apply to everyone, but I apply to me. You know that moment where your kids surpass you? Kind of a wonderful moment, but also means like you're getting a little bit older. My older son Ari and I used to take out our road bikes and ride really hard. I used to lead, I was out in front, and he would really push himself to keep up. And then one summer when he turned 16, he pulled ahead and he never turned back. My role shifted from leader to cheering section. Just before Sukkot, it happened again. This time it was on our deck, not on the road. Ari came home from college to visit, and he helped build the Sukkah, which was very nice. We were trying to figure out how to get enough seats for everyone for the first night for dinner. And he had added several of his friends suddenly, and so the dinner got a little bit larger. Now, I've always prided myself on my spatial skills. Ever since USY on Wheels, a Jewish teen tour, where I was captain of the loading committee, which meant every morning I had to take everyone's luggage and figure out how to get all those duffels underneath the bus. It did come with a perk. I got to choose my seat first. Let's say if there was a girl I wanted to talk to, I could offer her a seat. Benefit. But this time I couldn't figure out how to fit in all the seats. Ari came in, he's like, why don't you get another table, put it on the side, we can make it on a diagonal. And he solved it. He angled everything perfectly in. Suddenly the space opened and everyone fit, just like we're going to do in a few minutes in our Garber Sukkah. The tables aren't on angles. You don't believe the Sukkah is going to expand to fill all of us? Just you wait. That first night, as I said, it was warm. The schach, the roof of the Sukkah, was there, giving us that kind of magical feeling of Sukkot, and the Sukkah wrapping us in a sense of intimacy and closeness. Sometimes I think of the Sukkah like the talit, right? When you put it over your head, you're surrounded in this blanket of love. Of course, the talit is tightly woven. It allows light to come through. And the schach also, right, forms this lattice. Light filters through. We're both protected in God's embrace, but not fully sealed off. The Sukkah teaches us to be protected enough to be open enough. And that got me thinking about one of the main prayers that refers to the Sukkah at least certain times. It's the Hashkivenu prayer. We read it last night at Friday night services. It's the prayer that we say before going to sleep. It's this beautiful prayer for asking for peace in the night. It ends with two different ways, which is kind of interesting. During the week, it has one ending, Shomer Amo Yisrael La'ad, who guards God's people Israel forever. In the second version, on Shabbat and Yom Tov and holidays, we say, Haporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael Ve'al Yerushalayim. Right? Praise to you, God, who spreads out this canopy, this Sukkah of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and then over Jerusalem. And there's a shift there, a difference. One is weeknights, guardian, protection, vigilance, defense. And then on Shabbat, we're much more focused on one who unfurls a canopy of peace, a kind of gentleness, an embrace, a dwelling. So the question comes up, why the change between the two? I'd argue that because most of the week, we are really inhabiting the day-to-day, the work, the struggle of life. We carry sometimes worry. We look at the headlines. We feel heartbreak. We ask God, keep watch over us while we sleep so that we're given the gift of a new day tomorrow. We need the divine as guardian. But Shabbat, and especially this festival of Sukkot, trains us to taste the world that we are working towards. Shabbat is a little weekly glimpse of some larger healing. This morning, what we're asking for is that Sukkah of peace. The tradition links this to our great prophet Isaiah, who imagines this sheltering cloud and a Sukkah that becomes a shade and refuge, a covering woven of God's presence. We should notice in this blessing how the scope of peace widens from one level to the next. On weeknight, very particular, survival. But on Shabbat and Yom Tov, we have these circles. The first one is obvious. You got to begin with yourself. Aleinu. We need this. This is what our community needs. But then it goes to the Jewish people, a wider circle. And then it widens to Jerusalem, which is a really powerful concept. Not merely a specific city, which of course it is, but it represents so much more. Jerusalem is a sense of being connected to God with both closeness, but also openness. We feel that sense of encompassing the entire world. Jerusalem, a holy city for all three Abrahamic religions. Now, for the last 2 years, as I've been reciting Hashkivenu, this prayer, after the Shema in the evening service, I've been thinking about really the weekday version, right? Thinking about guarding us, those who need protection. We prayed, as we just mentioned, for our hostages and their families, for Israelis living with trauma and loss, and for the innocents in Gaza, enduring devastation and fear. We've seen over these last 2 years an incredible spike in anti-Semitism on campuses, online, and in public forums, and even in synagogues, as we saw last week in England on Yom Kippur. And we've worked to keep discourse healthy, even among polarizing forces, to make room for complexity and grief without weaponizing hatred. Now, this Shabbat of HaMoed is really an unusual Shabbat as far as I can remember in Jewish history. We are here on Sukkot, a holiday of both vulnerability and protection, and having and holding that cautious optimism. I'm a very superstitious person, so I'm not going to say, great, we're done. So those hostages are home with their families. But I will hold that cautious optimism that please God as we gather again as a community, Monday night, Tuesday for Shmini Atzeret, Tuesday night, Wednesday night for Simchat Torah, we will see our hostages home. And if that happens, I'm letting myself feel it a little bit, but not totally. If that happens, our dancing on Simchat Torah on Tuesday night and on Wednesday, which everyone has to be here, will be like something we've never experienced before. An overwhelming outpouring of joy that we've been waiting for 2 years. With our live music and our Torah scrolls in our arms, we'll honor Amram Migdal and Liz Levin and let our bodies just release everything that has been building and that has constrained us. And if, God forbid, we're still waiting, we will still dance as we have with stubborn hope, declaring that our love of Torah outlasts any fear. Whatever happens, these Hashkivenu blessings during the week and on Shabbat and holidays teach us how to hope. It doesn't stop again with us. It doesn't stop with our people. Because it reminds us that trauma is beyond us. There is trauma all around us. It's everywhere on the Jewish map, unfortunately, across Israel and the diaspora. And of course, it has to be even bigger. That's that word Yerushalayim, which when you first hear it, you're thinking Jerusalem, Israel. And of course, that's true. But Jerusalem right, is not merely the capital of Israel. It is not merely a place with longitude and latitude that you can map. It is on your spiritual compass. The root, Shin Lamed Mem, means shalem, whole. And of course, connected to the word, shalom, peace. They're fused into one name. The city founded 3,000 years ago by King David, the city that our prophets imagined as a moral summit, a city that has endured 3 millennia of hate and violence, a city that has become holy to Christianity and to Islam, a city that on Sukkot contains a dream of being a mountain for all peoples to ascend. The prophets say we will all gather there in a time of peace. A mountain where everyone can come, not to erase your own identity or culture or creed, but one to bring everyone into a shared canopy of dignity before God. In this vision, the Sukkot walls are expanded. The rabbis imagine them going and growing around the whole city, stretching around all the people of the world. This Sukkah of peace around all of Jerusalem is Judaism's way of saying that peace cannot just be for the Jewish people. It must be for all people. So my prayers this Shabbat and this Sukkot are, may the hostages come home. May those torn from their families return alive, those who are still alive, speedily now. May their parents and partners and children be able to breathe once more. May the wounded find healing, the bereaved comfort, and may leaders across all lines choose life over posturing. May the people of Israel be granted security and rest from terror. May the innocents in Gaza be granted safety and a future. May those who incite hatred find their hearts turning towards compassion. Hapurei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. May God spread the Sukkah of peace over us here at Emunah, over all the people of Israel, those dancing, those waiting, over Jerusalem, our great city of wholeness and peace for the world. And may that canopy widen until it shelters the entire human family. Let us all say,